We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. Fli-City got some dogs in it, dogs in it. Fli-City come off authentic, authentic. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce. We light it up like arson and sauce and sauce.
My city experiencing a transition from penny pinching, maximizing our dollars, multiply triple digits. I came a long way from baby jars in a project kitchen.
Go through some live.
Hey, everybody, how y'all doing?
Peace, love, and light. We just talking, having a little conversation. I'm looking at the video. I'm looking at the video. Hey, y'all, hey.
What's up, community?
Hey, man, definitely, another day, another dollar, I think,
Man, 25 cents or something, I don't know.
Give us a holler, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, but it's another glorious day.
Absolutely.
And we are alive, breathing, on Earth.
Yes.
Taking in some of this H2O and living our best lives and thanking all the ancestors who have went on before us. And,
Breathing in this good prana.
Just continue the juice going, man. I'm excited. Just continue to be out here and always be involved in the platform and just kind of doing what's necessary and everything that comes with it. Just peace and blessings all in all. And just really want to kind of continue to keep going on with the positive energies. And,
Absolutely.
We've been garnering up that all week and all year, and we're just gonna continue that effort.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely, I agree.
What's been going on with y'all this week?
Man, just living life, right? That's it.
Yeah, just
Just
trying to
living life.
engage in this thing called life and be excited about it every day.
Absolutely.
I think that's the commitment,
Yeah. Just waking up and getting to it every day. Yeah. Yeah.
We continue to, as far as experience a lot of gymnastics, when we're dealing with the atmosphere and the energy in our city. Even despite, a lot of the insanity, again, how do we continue to, come on these type of platforms and really continue to be positive? A lot of times you find that, as she said earlier about engaging in the tea, and a lot of times that tea is filled so much with pee, and I think so often when we think about these opinions and everybody having opinions and, our feelings get hurt, because we've gotten so far away from facts. And it's almost fashionable now to just lie, to just actually just lie, and be happy with it, So I think what we have to really focus on is being truthful, being honest, living with integrity. A lot of times that's not popular, but I think we have to be a calming force when we come on these airways and coming with facts, and then living those facts and helping to make those facts become a reality.
Yeah. You know what it is for me, though, Brother Roberts? Of course it's the lies, but for me it's the having the facts and just picking and choosing what works for you.
Okay.
Leaving that other stuff out and just picking and choosing what works for you. That'd be the thing for me. Like I'm trying to look at the whole thing, A through Z and all the letters in between, right?
Right.
But this person only want to pick M and N, or maybe Q and R, and then everything else is irrelevant, or they act like they don't see it. It's that for me. It's the picking and choosing what works for you. It's just like people that read the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is, the Torah, whatever it is that you choose to believe in, picking and choosing what works for them, as opposed to the message as a whole. That's what it is for me. And sometimes that's hurtful, especially when, like you said, they want to get butthurt about what you say, and they don't hear everything that you say. They just pick and choose to respond about what, like, you think about the whole thing you say, you're like, dang, out of all of that I just said, that's all you heard? That's all you heard?
That's
oh,
all
okay.
you heard.
All right. That's what it is for me anyway. And of course the lies, because people, a lie don't care who tell it, right? So, it's that. But I mean, that picking and choosing, that's what part I hate. Like, cause if you're gonna tell it or you're gonna say something about all of it. Don't just pick and choose what works for you, or just pick and choose what you're gonna get mad over. Like, look, hear the whole thing. Cause 9 times out of 10, it's probably not even as bad as you're making it out to be, right?
A lot of times that has a tendency to be the case, but I think what's happening with Facebook and Instagram and all these different platforms it's become so fashionable. I mean, it's like a branding process. It's like a entertainment or fad when you are just making things up.
Yeah.
We spend time making things up and putting them on a platform to get likes. And when we are engaging in wanting to be liked, that is damaging our community and our society. And I think it's becoming critical because they just had, Facebook and on Capitol Hill, and they intentionally developed algorithms designed to make sure that these children and young people are being attracted to these sites so they can be manipulated. That's intentional.
Yeah.
Along with all the things that's going on when you're dealing with bigotry and prejudice and stratification of income or any other thing, as you mentioned earlier, about half-truth, mistruth, or picking out different parts or flavors of the truth, that has become so prevailing in our society. Why do you think that is, that people are so successful to ingesting or engaging and believing that I should not take the vaccine because the government is trying to put a chip in my body, or I've got a right not to take the vaccine because I have a right not to take the vaccine because I'm my own individual? So where is that coming from?
I think it's pretty broad in that sense of like where people's heads are with that, because some people are just naturally those followers or those ones that just will believe whatever, right? And then there's some that's just, they want to be in a group or in a loop of something so much, they'll just follow this group or follow that group without doing the research. And I think what it is that a lot of people just don't do the research. They're just dependent on what somebody else says about it, and then they take that and run with it, right? Especially if it's somebody that they kind of look up to a little bit, and they deem that as credible, whether they know if that person did the research or not. And then they'll say, oh, well, such and such said, or because such and such said, they tend to believe it.
Now, when you say that, what research did we do about the flu shot, or the measles, polio, whooping cough, or all of us have gotten those shots when we were children, and even when you're going out the country or as a child, a little baby after 6 or some certain amount of months have to go to the doctor and get a whole lot of shots. I mean, that's mandatory. So when did, all of us become scientists and have to get some research done to be able to take some shots or some vaccines? It's the
information age now, right?
Okay.
And so I think now more than ever, it is important to make sure that when you're doing your research, it's things that are credible, right? And because there's so much mess out there with the credibility, you gotta, weed through all of that to find the credible sources, right? And so it's so easy to go and look up something, and the first thing to pop up is maybe some mess, or something that's untrue. And so because you don't really look through it or look at the source, you just read it and you go with it. Sometimes you're not getting the right information, so you're getting the sludge at the bottom of the barrel as opposed to the cream that rises to the top.
Okay.
I believe that's it. Because, I've looked up some things before, and then you look at it and you be like, oh, wait a minute. But I look at the source too, right? And I'm like, oh, well, I can't read that because I know that's not a credible source. Or, oh, I can read this one because it is a credible source or whatever, right? And I think that's the thing that we don't do enough. We don't know, or we don't take the time to really see if it's a credible source, right? So we read the Star and the National Enquirer as opposed to the New York Times, Time Magazine.
Okay.
But could they tell lies? The Time and the New York Magazine,
Most definitely.
They could be just
Absolutely.
as bad as you look at the Star or the Inquirer.
They absolutely could. However, what I'm saying that a credible source, being that, with that being said, is that it's more repercussions that come with a credible source as a one of those type of vlogs or magazines or whatever, or news sources or reports, because you expect that from them, because that's what they are and that's what they're there for, right? As opposed to the other ones. That's all I'm saying. Or look at the CDC website as opposed to, whatever.
But it's good.
But like you said, they can lie too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody lies, so it's not like everything can be taken. I think you just have to have your discernment, and like you said, it's make it your choice, because it's your choice and it's your own free will in your mind, not just because somebody said it.
And
you
again,
just don't roll with it.
and it's so important that even in your research, you be able to do cross research. Because again, everybody, to some degree, the New York Times, Washington Post, have an angle and an ideology.
Yeah.
And again, one presents themselves as a liberal paper, one as a Republican paper, one as an independent. How do news, or real news, is supposed to be Republican, Democrat, or independent, or alternative facts? I think, and that's something that we really, kind of stay away from, because if we look at what's happening locally in our community, when we talk about Flint and what's going on in Flint, the misinformation, the lack of information, the lack of a willingness to really engage in some real hard action, to really get behind some changes so there could be a different direction in the city, there's no one willing to show up and be held accountable to speak truth to power.
You know what? I also feel like people need to get out their feelings about folks. Just because you are friends with this person, or this person is your relative, or this and that, doesn't make it the right choice, right? Just because you know this person and this person, you've been rocking with this person for a long time, and y'all been friends since you've been in kindergarten or whatever, doesn't mean that they're always the right person to be in these seats and these platforms, or this whatever it is. It's not. I mean, like, come on now. Some of y'all know that y'all people ain't supposed to be in these spots, and y'all just advocate for them anyway. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: I got an uncle that swear to white Jesus, black Jesus, and anybody else that he is the best candidate for everything. That sucker is absolutely nuts. Do you hear me? And I would not tell anybody. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't care how long you know about uncle. Don't put that Negro in that seat. But I think that's the type of energy we should be having, though. Like, right? We should really be doing the research on these people, like you say, and not just be in our feelings. I think that's the problem. We get in our feelings so hard about it because, like, for instance, if DeJuan decided that he was gonna run for something, but I really didn't honestly think that he was the right person to be in it. And this is my man, $100 grand, and I would tell him, you know what? I love you. You my man. I'm down, like 4 flats on the Cadillac, but I'm not voting for you for that, sir. You're not the right person. You're not the right person. But I think we, as if these are our people for real, that's what we need to do. Right. We really need to say that to them, right? Right. Or I say, Brother Roberts, I don't think that's the seat for you, sir. Yeah, right. I don't know. That's not the seat for you. I know there's some seats I know that's really good for you, but that one ain't it. And I think that's just the things that we need to say, and some of the things that we need to think about when we're doing it. We just can't advocate for a person just because we've been knowing them, and, or whatever. We need to get out our feelings about it. And then don't be getting mad at other people when they call these people out on their stuff, too, right?
Right. I think that's critical. I got
to give y'all to the point, too, when you say, I think it's about having the right folks and actually having those conversations. There's nothing wrong with agreeing and disagreeing. I think,
absolutely.
In our community, like you said, if you're not the right person for the job, it's not nothing to be upset about, because there's other opportunities and other platforms that we need folks to fall in line in. And we do need people to get in line. We do need everybody to step up. Like a lot of times at these meetings, I know even though we have representation, but we need people in the crowd. We need people who transfer this information back to different networks and making sure that that's, you know, clear and transparent. It doesn't do us no good if we got representation and folks ain't following up and don't nobody know what's going on, or ain't nobody else involved but thinking that person's supposed to do all the work. That's us not doing our due diligence. So, as better, you know, constituents, as better representatives of this community, it's apparent that we have to be there. We have to ask questions and hold those folks who we put there accountable, whether they are our friends or not. Having those discussions and being clear and understanding, like, hey, listen, man, you know what? You know, I want to be able to be informed. I want to be able to show up when it's time for me to be there. And so we all have to have those natural conversations together. We all have a role and responsibility to play out here. And so we don't want to get into the thing of just letting people just do the work. Like, this be my thing, right? It's even when it come down to even like with us, with Black Lives. You know, every time there's an incident or a situation that take place, they always expect Black Lives to be on the forefront. So they don't ever look at it from the standpoint of saying like what they can do about it in concert with Black Lives. Right? That's right. But they always saying like, hey, listen, man, they got it. They gonna get out there and protest like they always do. And whether it's a few of them or a gang of them, you know, they just expect that. But ultimately, we expect you all to go ahead and step up too. It's not just a one-sided thing. It's just not just called Black Lives Matter, because we still got NAACP out here, right? So we still want to be able to engage NAACP. We still need NAACP to continue to step up and do the work. We need to be able to be a force as one. If one person's on the front lines, some folks need to be looking at how we build policy to address after we raise awareness to the issue. And now what's our next steps, right? And then also a continuous effort out there. Don't just think a protest or a demonstration one time is going to be the end all. Like, we really have to be strategic about it. And a lot of times folks don't even know how we move. They think that we just come out for protests and demonstrations. But not knowing all the other work and activity that we involved and engaged in, whether it's working with programs in the schools, working with the youth, out there on the front lines, in the community, dealing with the crime, right?
Or going to the school when something pops off and they call us and we shoot out there. Or
just, you know, just in general, it's just not a one thing, and that take resources, that takes support, that take assistance. And if we out there on the front lines and folks is in here working in these positions, whether you sit in the board or you feel like, hey, listen, my job won't allow this, or hey, I just want to be in the background, you know, we still accept contributions financially to continue to keep putting folks out there on the forefront, because then there's a lot of work that go in on the back end when you're talking about doing the paperwork and filing the complaints and creating ordinance and creating letters and sending it all to these folks to really get the grades going. So, you know, it's more than just showing up for a protest, and it's more than just being called out to come out to when somebody's done wrong. You know, we want to be proactive. Right. We want to be on the front end where we have our ducks in a row, where these things don't happen, because they know the outcomes if they do something to our youth, or they know if one of our black persons are being discriminated against in the working environment. They know the consequences and repercussions that come with this, because it's going to be affluent every time. So you always have to be proactive. We always be very strategic in how we move, and it's always going to take every single one of us, because everybody is in this revolution. We in this revolution together, and can't just sit on the sideline when folks can kick the doors down, and then you want to walk through like you've been a part of this the whole time. That's what boils out.
Yeah. So that's another thing, and I hate that too, you know, the whole where's Black Lives Matter when something happens. So I feel like when you say that, you should be looking at yourself as well, because Black lives should be mattering to all black people. Right. So it should not just fall on the face of Black Lives Matter when something happens. Like, it's nothing wrong with you getting out there. It's nothing wrong with you stopping because you see a police officer pulling over a young man, and it's 3 or 4 of them and it's only him. It's nothing wrong with you stopping and say, hey, bro, you okay? You all right? You need something? You need me to call somebody? Like, you good? Or I'm going to sit here until you good to make sure you good. There's no harm in that. What they going to do? Right. Like, we all need to be doing that. We all need to make sure that we doing that together for each other. So Black Lives should matter to all black people, not just the face of Black Lives Matter. That should not be an issue. So that's what boils me. That's what have my blood boiling. Where was Black Lives Matter? Because really, they're not saying where's Black Lives Matter. Where was Warren Robinson? Is really what they're saying.
I think more so than that, just like he said earlier about, you know, showing up in spaces. Monday morning, we was at Southwestern High School, 7:30 in the morning, greeting the students as they got off the bus coming into the school. And we're gonna be doing it every Monday at different schools around the city. And again, it's being proactive, not waiting on nobody to call, but getting up early in the morning, going out to greet, to value, to show our children that they are worthy, that they are somebody. And so often we continue to we are continuing to do the work. In 1712, Willie Lynch wrote a letter. And even when you look at The Art of War, Sun Tzu's book, and on page, I think it's like 198, he talks clearly about how do you continue to have your enemy to continue to be subservient to you. Because again, when you are psychologically and mentally brainwashed, you feel you have no fight. That's why you say, I'm waiting on white Jesus, or I'm waiting on Black Lives Matter. Because I give it to y'all, I get in a situation and I say somebody else gonna do it. Because I'm not gonna do it. And I think we as a people have gotten so complacent in this thing called America, and then this society where we got the drugs, the alcohol, the internet, the clothes, you name it, the football, all this other distraction. So we're running around with a ball while our balls are being cut off. You think about how serious that is. We keep playing and being played. And we got the nerve to watch a BET Hip Hop Award. Unacceptable. The behavior and the kind of money that is being spent and thrown away when a governor in Oklahoma yesterday signed a bill suspending teaching, reading, writing, and math. Because the Negroes, Hispanic, First Islanders, Pacificers, all these other people can't achieve a standardized level of proficiency at a level that's proficient for the state. So they are going to suspend the teaching of critical core subjects. I'm not talking about listen guys, this is the core. So if you got people, again, education, the only thing when you talk about degrees and all that, it's about showing up and being committed and that you have taken the time to study and be proficient at something. Not saying just because you got a PhD that you are any smarter than anybody with a GED, because that's truly not the case. We got some PhDs that's insane. We got some people with, look at Clarence Thomas. He went to school under affirmative action and have voted 400 times against affirmative action. Talking about insanity. So let's just call it out. That's what we got to do. We got to call the truth out.
That's right.
So when we're dealing with what we, like the sister said, and the brother said, calling the NAACP, the Urban League, Black Lives Matter, and you're not engaged,
Right.
how dare you even open your mouth? How dare? Real talk, man. When in many cases, if you look at it and you go back and you dial it back, there's some part of whatever jumped off that we as a people played a part in being stupid for it to jump off like it is. Even I'm not discrediting the insanity of bigotry. Prejudice is real, and this is winning. I'm just saying sometimes we behave in a way that is totally unacceptable. And we want to call Black Lives Matter.
Ooh, you know, with that being said, you know, I had an issue over the weekend with a flyer that was being sent out. Did y'all see that? That
Oh, Flint.
Pastor Reggie Flynn put out. Haven't seen that flyer?
With the crime.
Yeah. So he made this flyer, this whole thing that was going on because you know, the church got broken into.
Lord have mercy.
Okay. So
How
the
many
church
times you
got-
had to look at it before you found the discrepancy?
Just the one time?
I looked at it the first time.
So the first time I saw it, it was crazy too. So
And can I stop you there? Because
yes,
this is
go for
important.
it. Go for it.
This is the perfect example
Mm-hmm.
of cultural conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
how we view ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Even a man in his position view another black man in a ski mask.
So what happened?
Insanity.
Yeah. So what happened was
Because wait a minute, wasn't a white person.
yeah.
in
No,
the ski mask?
I wanted to tell them what it looked like just in case they didn't see it, so they can understand where
okay.
you're going with this. So the church got broken into, or wherever they keep their things, you know, their to do the lawn. That church got broken into, and 2 other churches got broken into. Right? Okay. So he got on live at like 4 a.m, going off. You know, he upset, mad, he going off. I didn't see it at 4 a.m, but you know, later going back and see it. He said he getting armed people to patrol the neighborhood and things like that. Now let me tell you, that was prior to me seeing this. So I was a little perturbed at that because I said, where was all this energy when folks be getting killed? Where's all this energy in that neighborhood when things are going wrong? Why are these armed security being patrolling the neighborhoods then?
Oh, wow.
So a lawnmower getting stolen, and I know for sure you got insurance.
And
Yeah, now you want to get armed
our
security over a lawnmower,
children can't read.
but you want to get armed security
Where's
over
the
a lawnmower.
tutoring class at church?
I'm just the lawnmower though.
The
brother,
lawnmower?
That's
I'm
all
with
I'm
you.
saying. So I'm
You
just
see
saying,
what we
like,
value?
it's not. You don't have this energy over lives being lost and the crime in
Come
the
on.
community. Just the not. And let's not say it's over the lives being lost, but the crime in the community
Right.
as well. Like I know there's a lot of older folks that still live in their neighborhood, so you don't have that same energy to protect these older people's
That's
houses
good.
or anything like
That's
that.
good. That's good. Now that's a real dialogue.
I'm
How in the
serious.
world that a lawnmower your church being broken into is more valuable than the lives and the safety of our
And I'm gonna tell
community?
you right now, if you don't have the
Wow.
insurance on Falls Avenue Baptist Church, there is a problem.
You know they do.
Okay, so but we got this
Wow.
energy over there. So you want to unite against crime and theft in our city on Monday. Now, first of all, I got a problem with the whole flyer because there's a picture of him down there. There's a picture of Tyrone Booth, the police officer, right? And then at the top, big, there's a black man in a daggone ski mask.
Lord have mercy.
See, we don't know if he was black that was out here committing crimes.
We don't
But
know.
just even the imagery, that Reverend Flint, this is what we talking about, the imagery of the flyer and what it puts out is the perception, right? That having a black man in a ski mask on a flyer as if, they're out there committing crimes. I'm not saying I know who did the crime or not, right? But we want to be very mindful of what we put out to the community and what they see. And so I think, I understand we definitely want to stop crime and theft, right? But that's been going on for
500 years.
Eons.
But what we're saying is, not because a piece of property has been taken, now we want to ramp up the fight against crime and theft. No, we want to be unified. We want to be addressing those issues when they're in your community, in your neighborhood, by Falls Avenue, by the church, everything in that area, in that vicinity. We want to be on the front lines at every situation, not just when something directly happens to you or some property. And I think, those are the things that, and it's good to go ahead and get everybody going and round it up. That's what we want. But we need to be out here on the front line for all the causes. We have so many killings this year.
Yeah.
Multiple ones over there in that area.
Yeah.
Falls
Right.
Avenue Church is.
Right.
By the school. So we need to unite against crime in that area and how we uplift the community in that area, right? At the church, let's get some food going. Let's put some resources, some dollars out. Them same armed patrol guards that you were speaking of. Let's get those folks out there on the front line and patrolling that whole area, right?
Come on.
We in concert working with you to bring some programs or some resources for the folks in that area. So, it's ways to definitely do it, but we don't definitely want to slap a brother on there with a ski mask on and filter that through.
Because
Facebook.
when you do that, again, even if you're supposed to be Brother Flynn, and you know you're my brother, but if you African and the African diaspora conscious, how you gonna do the Willie Horton? How you gonna do the Willie Horton, man? Unacceptable. We already under the gun, and you gonna do the Willie Horton? That back to what I said earlier, sister and brother, about how we have been psychologically
That's what made me think of it.
conditioned
Mm-hmm.
to hate ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we have put ourselves, wouldn't dare put a white person on there.
Now, see, and if a white person did that,
Come on.
baby, we will be all up in arms about that.
Because one real story about a lot of the break-ins that's taking place, again, they're using cherry pickers, so most black people don't have a cherry picker, number one. And the real thieves or crooks, Mr. Booth, Sheriff Swanson, the congressman, all those judges downtown.
Come on now.
If you want to talk about the real thief, this country called America don't have no problem killing black and brown people, locking up black and brown people, and today, to lock up black and brown people in America is over $300 billion. They are feeding, they are going on vacations, buying mobile homes, pontoon boats. They are enjoying their best life on the back and the misery of black and brown people. And we continue to allow it and continue to watch football, continue to dance, getting ready for the Super Bowl celebration. All those cowards that was going to take part in it. Yesterday I was at the Genesee County Board meeting, and all those Negroes got up and pledged allegiance to the insane flag. I was hurt. I was hurt. Those Negroes in that room got up and put their hands over their hearts.
Wow.
And back in the day, if I was younger, I wish I was younger. I wish I was 20.
Uh-oh.
They don't want to see brother.
We ain't
Brother Roberts, you know
we ain't
what
got a war chest yet, brother Robert.
Brother Roberts, you know my second.
So just so we keep it in our line, you got a history impact or you got a?
Yeah, most definitely.
Okay. So we want to kind of definitely go into the transition. We want to have better imagery of black people out here. So anytime, you know, you're using a black image, make sure it's in a positive light.
She had something that I said.
It was just about that. I said my second issue with that flyer is that the whole thing, that conversation or whatever, was happening on a Monday at like noon. Nobody's available for that.
Strategic.
You're talking about for the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my other issue with that. I'm like, who's available for that?
So yeah.
It just, I don't know, just all rubbed me the wrong way.
So next time, definitely, let's be very mindful of the imagery, but then ensure that, you know, we out there when there's anything or something, any activity going on in your neighborhood, make sure you be out there on the forefront. So at this time, we're going to switch into our next segment, which we like to call this History Impact with Brother Hubert. And so we'll go ahead and transition at this time and pass it over to Brother Hubert Roberts.
All right, hey, this is another installment of our Black Lives Matter Flint History Impact. And again, I told you guys last week we were going to do a little something different because we had changed the format up and we always want to keep some flavor running. We like to call this little segment is it's so nice to be white, you know. And again, why we're saying it's nice to be white, I just want to give you some examples about how wonderful it is to be white. You know, the J6 people that ran up to and wanted to overthrow the U.S. government, the insurrectionists. And again, there was over 10,000 people out there. And why it's nice to be white? Because had that been a group of black people, they would have corralled them like they did the Haitians on horses and barbed wire fence and tanks. But they allowed most of them to go home. And now that the few that has been captured are being treated like angels. Oh, it's so nice to be white. Oh, I wish I was white. And I know all you Negroes out there that are wishing to like say still on ESPN, she's half-breed like Barack Obama. It's just wonderful to be white. Y'all just want to be so white so bad, even though you hate your brown skin. And again, I just want to make it clear that how in the world did we continue to live in a society where we continue to allow ourselves to be exploited? It's so nice to be white. And in 1965, they passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. And again, today, it's so nice to be white. In 2013, they gutted all of the pre-clearance and the gut of the bill. The power of the bill was stripped out of it by the Supreme Court. It's so nice to be white. And we're wondering right now, you will get arrested if you are helping somebody in line to vote and giving them water. It's so nice to be white. And again, it's shameful. It is really shameful what is taking place, and that we are continuing to allow this travesty to take place. I have my mask on because I'm being conscious about this COVID-19. It's so nice to be white. The black Haitians, they are being sent home every day. 7 planes full every day are sent home back to Haiti. No government, no infrastructure, just total insanity. The country has collapsed. And this country is using Donald Trump's policies, Stephen Miller's, that Biden and that Harris, people that's in office right now, are using the Trump administration's policy to send these black people back to Haiti, while they are bringing over Afghanistans by the drove. I'm talking about bringing over people that allegedly supposed to blew up your pretty buildings in New York, and they're supposed to have been home to terrorists that you spent 20 years in, over $2 trillion, and you're bringing these people over and coveting them with love, with love, with love. It is so nice to be white. Look at Flint, Michigan. And it's sad. Flint is 80% black. But we have a fire department that's 65% white and a police department that's 70% white. It is so nice to be white. I can't help it. I'm just so excited about this. We talk about the debt. Do you know the debt has been raised 32 times in America? Do you know when Ronald Reagan was in office, the corporate tax rate was 70%. 70%. Ronald Reagan reduced it to 25%. And when you look at Ronald Reagan, what Ronald Reagan did is brought drugs into our black and brown communities intentionally, along with Oliver North trading arms with the Contras. Mm-hmm. And again, Oliver North right now running a multi-million-dollar security company, and he's a felon. And again, 3 strikes you out, along with Bush, Trump, and that white devil Bill Clinton that all you black people love. It's so nice to be white. Y'all got him playing saxophone on Arsenio Hall. It's so nice to be white. I just want to be white so bad. And again, it is so sad that our own people, we are denied across the board opportunities with jobs, with mortgages, with any type of self-preservation. When it comes to blackness, we have no chance. And then you wonder why we're being shot in the street. And it's so nice to be white. George Zimmerman is still alive. It's so nice to be white. Henrietta Lacks, 1955. Henrietta Lacks. Her cells were stolen by Johns Hopkins University. Her cells are the only cells in the history of mankind that was ever grown in a lab, and her cells have produced tremendous benefit to the medical science all over the world to this day. Her cells are a contributing factor to the vaccine that we all are taking today to fight against COVID-19. Her cells have been used to cure polio, smallpox, whooping cough, and the list go on and on what this woman's cells have done. And her family today is suing a company to make $35 billion every year because her cells, her family was never compensated. She was never compensated for what they did when they stole her cells. It's so nice to be white. And so again, this is a segment and that we're going to have periodically because we want to remind you black and brown people that you love Georgie with the good hair and Becky with the good hair. We understand that you want to be white. Again, I'm Brother Hubert Naeem Roberts. This is Black Lives Matter History Impact. Number is 394-4105. Get at me at mentorroberts@gmail.com. Wakanda out.
No, brother. You gotta love Brother Roberts.
Got to.
Segment.
I love this segment.
Well, thank you, sister.
I do. I love it.
Well,
I love it.
You know, we got to freshen it up.
I feel like calling Charlamagne the God and getting you on his show. You see this show?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I think you need to be on there with Charlamagne.
I do
Call
too.
him.
Yeah, call him.
Y'all make sure y'all please taking that information, that's being shared, and definitely, delving into it and looking into it and understanding, because, we don't get up here and just get to talking. I think more times, this is coming from a place, having conversations with our people about how strong we should be and how we should carry ourselves is a continuous discussion and conversation taking place in the black community. Because sometimes we just don't have the kind of cohesiveness coming from all our brothers and sisters because they may be thinking that they're better than everybody else. Whatever reason why, whatever makes them be, because they may be more academically sound or they have the degrees and the accolades, or they be around a bunch of white folks and they have trained them to feel this way.
Yeah.
I think it could be just any type of way, but don't ever forget where you come from, because at the end of the day, they just use you up and then spit you right back out. And then you have to come back and face the wolves that you have kicked on and spit on and talk bad about. And then we got to sit around and deal with you. So it'd be a bad situation, man. So you might as well stay strong. Like when you be talking about Clarence Thomas, I'm just like appalled that, this guy just sitting up there all these years, and like you said, he even went through the school doing affirmative action,
Right.
and being around the times when Martin Luther King was out here holding it down, and he still will not even say anything. The man ain't said nothing for 30 years, so I wouldn't expect nothing from here on out. So you just got to let that seat die out, and hopefully we get us a strong brother that's in there that's representing, maybe Brother Bobby Brush out of Chicago.
Yeah.
Somebody, man. We definitely need to look at next, right? We ain't getting nothing out of this brother right now. I'm telling you right now.
Not nothing. Not nothing.
And when you say that,
Not nothing.
it's ironic that you say that because, his wife, she provided 5 buses for the J6 insurrection. She provided 5 buses, so like you say, they are doing what they've been designed to do.
And she's white. Is she white?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
white.
she is.
So, I don't know what else. What else did you think was gonna happen? Okay,
Right.
well, all right, well, shoot, you know what, man? More power to you, Clarence Thomas, and man, your ancestors is looking at you, and everybody, Mr. Thomas and Mrs. Thomas, who gave you life. I'm pretty sure they are rolling over in their grave.
I'm pretty sure.
I can only imagine how many times they probably done dug a whole nother damn hole.
I got a real question for y'all. I got another question for y'all. How would y'all think if it was, just using hypothetically,
Hypothetically, okay.
how would you think the sellouts, if they had to go and see the ancestors,
Oh, baby.
what type of meeting would that be?
Man.
Come to Jesus moment. Is that
Man.
what?
Well, I think it depends on which ancestor, because it was Nat Turner, or Denmark Vassar, or Fannie Lou Hamer, or Akhenaken, or Imhotep, or Massa Musa, or Shaka Zulu, Marcus Garvey, the sister that fought in the Haitian Revolution, those two sisters that was general. I think their conversation wouldn't be long. I think they'd be to the point, and I think they would severely have some real pain after having a conversation with them.
Wouldn't that be like Harriet Tubman and just kill them?
Because the reason I asked that, it had to be they cannot be religious people.
Oh, where do religion come in?
Who
What do
being
you mean?
religious? I'm sorry.
The reason I say that is because when we say sellouts, if they reason I bring that part of religion in, saying if they knew it was something after this, do you think they would be pulling them stunts that they pulling?
Yeah.
When you know you got the answer for this.
So you saying we are not holding enough accountability for those folks who are selling us out because they know there ain't nothing gonna be done and they know they ain't gotta face no consequences.
After this?
At least with us right now, because we really are not holding each other accountable. Well, I think, we did a good job with Maurice Davis. I think when Maurice did that stuff last year, when he was running with Trump and running with the Republicans, and just kind of just saying all this just ill-advised stuff, man, and just going against black people. We showed him by not voting for him this time around.
That's right.
That's how we have to be. We have to deal with our own like that. So you can't do us wrong and then try to come back and rebound and say, hey, listen, I was wrong, and then think that we're going to just accept you back with open arms without any accountability. Those days are all over. We should never accept anybody who openly takes stride or stipe against us, goes against us, openly denounce his blackness, then you also denounce our support. So that's how we got to be. So I think we showed it with this time, and we called him out on numerous occasions too. So. And now he's still feeling it.
But I think it goes back to what I said though. But I think it goes back to what I said, is that they pick and choose what works for them. So of course they're not going to think about it that way, because they pick and choose what parts they take out of it and what works for them in the now. So they're not thinking about that. They're not going to think about it, because if you think about that, then it may, switch your consciousness.
So to answer your question specifically, Mr. Mitch, is that, and we can use the example of Herman Cain or Tiger Woods. So I got this money, right? So you saying after I die, do I think that there would be any repercussions seeing my ancestors and addressing them as far as my behavior while I was alive on this plane?
Right.
And most of us that Floyd Mayweather is a perfect example of another house Negro, because there again, you got to remember, Uncle Tom was the brother we needed. He came to our rescue. Sambo.
Say that again.
Uncle Tom is our brother.
Because people get
they get it twisted. See, they get it twisted. Uncle Tom died. He died. If you read the book and understand the story, guys, he died.
Right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't give up his brothers and sisters.
He died on his feet.
On his feet.
Not on
Like
his feet.
Sambo
was
bent over and let him be sodomized in his butt.
Yep.
So that's Floyd Mayweather. That's Clarence Thomas, Barack Obama, and the list go on and on. On the real tip.
Yeah.
Just like this so-called city council we have downtown.
Right.
They all are being sodomized by my foundation, along with the Chamber of Commerce, because when you got the plantation owner, unless you jump through the hoops, you ain't worried about the afterlife when you die, man.
Right.
Come on, I'm going to the strip club. I'm popping it up. I'm taking all the dope. I'm doing anything that I want to do. Matter of fact, I'm changing my gender, right? You call me Becky with the good hair now, because I got the money to do it. I'm a Kardashian, right? I mean, you think about the insanity of Kanye West, with Kim Kardashian supposed to be this image of beauty, when our sisters was running around in Africa butt naked, wasn't being raped, wasn't being sodomized, wasn't being killed, wasn't being looked at as nasty, and they butt naked. And we didn't do none of that to our babies, to our women. We honored them, protected them. So, I'm sorry, not to answer your question, yes, I think those Negroes that have to meet Their maker has no care. They are
We're sorry, Becky.
they're only concerned about on this plane here, and as long as they continue to be white with a chocolate face, they are happy.
Let's dwell into that one. So, when you talk about the city council, and this is very important, right? The development and activity that's been going on city council, as we know, has been divided. So you had the Cape Fields, you had the Eva Worthing list, the Santino, No Mexico, Barrera. Then you got the Griggs guy, six Ward Griggs, right? So you got them always voting with each other, but then you also have the other side always voting with each other. And then there's nobody who's looking at, hey, how we make this make sense? So we do have 4th Ward, Kate Fields, as the council president. And one of her things was that she was running on and committing to bringing more professionalism to the Flint City Council and just kind of working together in unison and making sure that the city of Flint constituents are being serviced. To this day, we have not seen any professionalism from that council, specifically you, Kate Fields, and we also look at you continue to being accused of abusing council rules for the purpose of obstruction. So I think when you talk about her being censored for 30 days and her trying to file an appeal and potentially, coming back to the city with some more legal ramifications, I think this is a bunch of circus that we talked about. We talked about being professional. And what you have done up there this whole time was sit up there and be evil, and with no conscience of what people are looking at. We watch this city council. We see the movements. We see the directors. We see the votes, right? You can't tell us out of your mouth what you're doing. We look at the paperwork and look at how you really kind of functioning up there, right? And we have disapproved of your dealings. We disapprove of your findings. We disapprove how you portray to be such a smart, intelligent woman up there, which you're not. You're evil, you're vindictive, you're jealous and amazed, and it shows, and it's a problem, right? So I don't care about, all these different things that you have to bring up. You want to talk about somebody disrespecting you. Well, you disrespected Monica on a number of occasions. You disrespected Eric on a number of occasions. You disrespected Flint residents on multiple occasions. And you got the nerve to sit up here and cry this white girl stuff like somebody give a damn what you talking about. You need to sit your mouth down. You need to sit your ass down. Really stay silent for these 30 days. And then come back with some real work that you really want to come find yourself working in concert with Eric Mays, working in concert with the other council members, and really doing on the behalf of the 4th Ward constituents. Because right now, you have not showed yourself to be duly responsible, and we have not put your head on the stick as a lady. So what we need to do is really call that stuff out. So as of now, this woman is censored for 30 days. Let's give a round of applause for that. Let's call out some of the nonsense that you have been doing.
Can I first say?
Hold on, because I got to run these things down. Okay. So the thing is, what we have a problem with, because we're giving her an award this week, right? That's right.
Yes.
We're going to call this out. So for giving Mays a middle finger and screaming profanity at him, kicking him out of meetings, that's disrespectful. Because we should say, like, everybody should be listening to each other. Everybody should be talking. But at the end of the day, it takes all 9 members to come together, vote on something with cognizance, and really move forward on it, right? That's what we expect you to do. In 2011, I know she had some funds that was questioned by the Department of Energy. That's right. Related to Advanced Solution Group, a third-party contracting consulting firm run by Kate. What did you do with that $250,000? We need some receipts to see how you functioning properly. See what makes you so intelligent up there. See why you think that you are the guru of finance, and why Maurice thought you was so that you was
had a beautiful mind.
That you had a beautiful mind. That was just sickening. But the fact of the matter is, she was paid nearly $250,000 to prepare an energy efficiency and compensation strategy, right? That was submitted to the Department of Energy in December of 2009, resulted in the city being awarded a $1.1 million grant, which was good. But nearly $164,000 of the cost that was accumulated by Kate has been called into question, and it's unallowable, unsupported, and unresolved, according to that letter. So the fact of the matter is, we got some discrepancies with you, right, as we call it. we got some discrepancies and we just calling it out. So for your actions as it relates to being, I guess this advanced group head, and then your action on city council as the 4th Ward councilwoman has led you to the infamous award of Crash Dummy of the Week, right? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna give it to you. This is our first segment of Crash Dummy of the Week, and we're doing it spontaneous, but
But you leaving out one thing.
we're gonna have some real
What was that mean?
some better pieces for you here in the future.
You
We wanna
forgot
make sure-
the you people.
I didn't
we
forget
wanna
that.
make-
I was
we
waiting
wanna
on him to
make sure-
finish so I could say that.
Well, you know, she did make a comment that you people will live with your conscience if you have any. Speaking to the Flint City Council members, and this is just another way that she tries to degrade, you know, people on the board. She really tried to use Eva, to be a school teacher. You look and sound so dumb. I think it's so ridiculous. I would never have my children in your classroom. But for you to follow behind Kate as if she is a phenomenal leader, is really taking you down the path, and both of y'all look like some clowns.
So is she in the passenger seat or is Santino in the passenger seat?
Eva's in the passenger seat, Santino is in the hatch.
Got it.
Reeves is working on the muscle. This is ridiculous. This is the part that we talk about that we have, and we gotta call these people out. We can't just allow these people just to talk about our people, talk about our queens like Monica, Jerry Wimpy Carter, talk about our brother Eric. You know, we gotta stand strong as a community and say, listen, we won't allow that. And we're gonna have your head every time. So you are the crash dummy this week, Kate Fields, the 4th Ward councilwoman. You are the crash dummy for this week. You are the crash dummy for this year. You're just a crash dummy, period.
30
so
days.
We need you 30 days. We don't want to hear nothing from you. Don't you try to put no pill out. Don't you even try to go ahead. We don't even want you at city council just in general. So we're going to make sure that we shut you down every chance you get. And if you say anything out of line about these podcasts, about these broadcasts, about these folks, or anybody up there at that council group again, we're going to have some serious issues. So remember that. So this week's Crash Dummy of the Week goes to none other than Kate, this Escape, a.k.a. Karen Fields.
That's right.
That's right.
And along with that, you know, we, as you just said earlier,
It's my second favorite.
we are definitely asking that, again, all you have to do is follow the money.
Follow the money.
Because she has manipulated funds unjustly. Follow the money, guys.
Right.
And we are asking for you to resign.
Right.
Drop the mic.
You gonna drop all three of them?
Well, I got one question for you though,
Go
brother,
for it.
right before you go. Why do we have so many people, blacks, defending her like she the second coming of Jesus?
Okay, why do you have people defending Jesus?
They never met him.
That was a good comeback.
I mean, to answer your question, the same like you say about they defend Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They defend whoever paid their bills. And again, we as black people that are not conscious, we want to be white. We want to be in the team that has the power. We want to be on the team with all the balls. Nobody want to be walking around with no balls, with no kahunas. So when you got all the balls, and your balls are infected, they are petrified balls. They are balls that have been, they are sickened balls. They are nasty and evil balls, but they are shiny balls. So to answer your question, our people want to play with balls.
I was just wondering because I seen because the reason I say that I never seen somebody. I never seen when it come down to like say Kate Fields, she been censored. I'm looking at where they wrote an article saying the businesses might don't come because Kate Fields got censored.
Wow.
They didn't say when Eric got censored, what no business is gonna come. But for a white lady to get censored, and they talk about business don't want to come, and that's what I don't get. Like with the blacks, though, I see like speaking up. Like, dude, it's like it's all right for us to talk about each other, but we can't talk about them. We got more self-hate for us.
Let me just follow up in on that. Just that show you right there. Like, so all the folks that may be speaking in support of Kate Fields and trying to say and ask the question, why was she censored and you black? I think you really want to go back and look at the tapes, look at how she functions and properly operate, and then you should really ask yourself, is this somebody who I should be defending? Right? So, you know, we got too many black people who quick to come to the aid for white folks, right? But when it's a black person out there that's standing up for you and holding you down, you don't never ever go to their side. You never speak up for them. I never see nobody speak up or talk good about somebody who really out there on the front line, who really giving it all. You never hear them out there. It's a real sickening thing. It's a mindset that we have. Like Brother Roberts, when he says that, you know, I want to be white stuff, it is those folks who are black and they really feel like they white. They really want to be white so bad. They associate themselves with white culture. They associate themselves with all the white ways of figuring that they made it and
White
been successful and having privilege. But really, do they not know that it's a sad fate? It's a sad case of them not loving themselves. And that's what we have for black people, because you don't have enough love for yourself. You can't love anybody that look like you. I can't love my brother and sister because I don't even look in the mirror and love myself. I hate the skin that I'm in. I wish that I was white. I wish that I had, you know, I wish I had a German last name. This is how really some black folks really be functioning and operating, and it's an illness. So it's like we have to call that mental illness for our black folks. And whether you were in the community, whether you watching it at the Flint City Council, whether you in the Flint politics page, it's like it's some real sick individuals that really don't understand that they make this culture look so bad as a group, as a whole. I remember one time it was some white folks that came and told me about some black people and said they acting too white. It's disgusting.
Come on.
I said, you know what? I agree with you.
Come on.
And that is pitiful when you got white people who are watching these platforms, who are watching this stuff, and they laugh at you. They laugh at you, and you don't even realize that they're laughing at you. You don't even realize how they don't support you at all. They want you to be with the bigotry. They want you to be with the nonsense. They want you to be with this sideshow and this circus because you're not going to get nothing done. You're not going to get no work done. This is entertainment for them. And we always look at black people historically as entertainers.
Period.
We got to be the ones with the white face jumping around, telling jokes, laughing.
Playing basketball, football.
We ain't got a goddamn
They
thing
get to sit back
for.
and not do anything because we're doing it for them.
That's the problem. But, you know, it's the thing with these jigaboos, man. You really got to know that, you know, for us, we have to make sure that we call that stuff out, and we got to make sure we hold no association. So when you do that type of stuff, and then we look at you crazy, or we call you out on this platform, it's because you need to be called out. And a lot of y'all don't even realize the work that you're doing, you setting us back. See, during these last year, we had a strong push. And if anybody know that the real, we pushing from a national standpoint, we was really pushing against policy. And just because George Floyd sacrificed his life last year, it made advancements for everybody who is black, everybody who supported black, everybody who wants to be a part of this movement, and we should be thinking how we continuously move that forward. Don't get in line with the Swansons, don't get in line with the K Fields, don't get in line with the Neelys who supporting that structure of white privilege and just
no accountability for the police.
And just taking all the credit for yourself and making sure you're getting paid on the back end and all that silly stuff while we out here struggling, still got to fight with police, still got dirty water, school education system down and out. We ain't got no businesses coming to the city because there's no vision. Don't get involved in that nonsense, and everybody should be looking like, I don't even want to be engaged in that type of stuff. I want to be engaged with my people. I want to build a plan and strategize with us. I want to say, hey, this is what I want to present to our local leaders to say, hey, this is what we need you to carry out. We need y'all to find the necessary resources and dollars to make these things happen. I want to be a part of that. I want to be with that group. And that's what we're trying to tell and show our black people when we get all on one accord, when we all are one, we all on one, when we really be strategic, we will win. They cannot do nothing for us. They cannot do nothing for us. We're solid together. They don't have all the information. Everything that they build, everything they design, all derives off our findings and teachings. This is all our symbolism. Even when you look at the back of the dollar, our prints is on everything. So you should be strong about the originators. I don't want to be with the fugazis. I don't want to be with the fakes. I don't want to be with the imitations. And that's all this is. But if you really research who you are, the power and the contribution that you made to civilization, you don't even want to be no European. You don't even want to be in that mindset. So let's really take this to heart and say, like, man, black people, look in the mirror and be fine with yourself. Love yourself. When you say those affirmations, I know me, I accept me, I love me, I forgive me, there's a higher power that lives within me. God made you in image like himself. We are many gods. We come from the pinnacle of this whole beginning, so we want to take it back to origins and be strong about us. And I guarantee you the rest of the world will follow.
And with that saying, when you asked about no businesses will come because of the white Becky is gone, again, those writings and information are strategic. That kind of conversation literature is back to brainwashing. Because again, when you can manipulate the narrative, again, you are talking to groups of people to help to continue the enslavement, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But even when you ask the question, why? We have been trained to die for white people. We've been trained to join the military and die for white people. George Zimmerman has not been killed. The officers that killed black and brown people, Breonna Taylor, Bland, the list goes on and on. The George Floyd bill has not been signed.
Right.
So when you be real about why do we behave the way we behave, and why many people that look like me and you, that live in Grand Blanc, that live in Flushing, that lives in Davison,
Swartz Creek, turn their nose up at you, will not speak to you if you are out there at Myers because they consider you a nigger. They consider you a nigger. And to understand what that word really means as an uncouth person, anyone can be defined as that and not such a black person. But we were here to pick cotton, nothing else. We were more together when we was picking cotton than we are today. We were more together when we were picking cotton than we are today. That's a sad state of affairs. And the patient is in critical, catastrophic situation. His life is about to die as far as black people in America. Well, this is the question I got for you. I got a question for you, and it's going to what you just said now about your thing.
I wanted to keep talking about that, but go.
But I was going to go with your thing now with the blacks with the Westwood Heights. With the superintendent. All black, right? White man kept his job. How can you, what's the reason behind that?
Well, I asked that before. How that, and I still haven't gotten an answer to that, and I asked him, I haven't seen him, to ask him, which was Lester Fikes. Put that out there and see, what's the be, because like I said, that hurt my heart, that hurt my feelings, being that I know him, and I you think you know him, you know all the things that he stood for prior to that, but, I don't have an answer to that because that floored me. But I will say that they were speaking on, knowing yourself and loving yourself and, knowing our history and things like that. Even more than that for me, just because I'm a woman, is the whole thing of us as women not sticking together, us as black women not sticking together, because like some of those things that were being said about this white woman was coming from black women.
Oh, you're about Kate, right? Oh,
so I don't understand.
Oh, I got it.
So I don't understand how you defend this white woman, but not the black women on the council, right? That's just crazy to me. I just don't get that. Like, why can't we defend each other? Why can't we stand in solidarity with each other, right? We as women, like, we need to, like, we getting all kind of stuff thrown at us left and right. Period. We can't be angry about anything, or we gonna be angry black women. Can't raise your voice about anything, or we being ghetto, or we being too loud, right? We can't speak our minds and say anything, and I can't say shit, and everybody like, you should not talk like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything. So with that being said, why wouldn't you support them? Why wouldn't you, as a black lady, hold your arms out to Monica Galloway and to Jerry Winfrey Carter and say, sis, I got you out here. I'm not supporting her. I'm not supporting this white lady that called you a you people. And let me tell you, that right there, I would rather she would call me a nigga. to be honest with you. That just strikes me in a whole other place when you call me a you people. I honestly would rather you call me a nigga than call me you people.
And they defended that, didn't they?
And they defend that. She didn't mean it that way. Bullshit.
That was black people said she didn't mean it that way?
Said she didn't mean it that way. I'm like, what? I'm not in the group. I didn't see it. It was just told to me. My point being is that we need to stand in more solidarity with each other. Like I don't know much about Monica Galloway as a person, but she is a black lady, and I don't want to see any white lady saying anything to her. Or I'm riding. I'm riding.
But my sister, when you say you, so we can be clear, and we want the community to understand this, and I think this is a critical point. Because for everything that you said you don't know why women would not defend again. Women would not stand firm and go against Miss Fields for what she said. So I want y'all to think about this, guys. Over 500 years, it hasn't changed. The white man can still come into our homes and kill us, and rape our women, and rape us. And you say the policy of Westwood Heights, the policy is like it reads in the police department, qualified immunity. So the superintendent out there at Hamady, Westwood Heights, per policy, was under the policy of the school board, which allowed him to be reinstated. And again, they said, if you want the policies to change, get on the board and change the policy. But under the way the policy read, is what was told to me, that they didn't have no other way but to reinstate him, or he was going to come back and sue them, and he still had 3 years on his contract, and they didn't want to pay that kind of money to him. So to understand the real, when we get down to the nitty gritty, today, a white man could come into your home, and even a white woman,
Right.
and do whatever they want to you, and nothing happens to them. So when we think about why,
Right.
if you want your next job and go to your next interview, oh, what did you say about Kay Fields? We're not going to hire you because you talked about Becky with the good hair. Or Karen. Karen told us not to hire you.
Yep.
So now you can't pay your mortgage. Oh, now you got to come back and live like black people. Since they say black people don't have nothing.
They say we don't have nothing.
Oh, you can't live out in Grand Plain. Us, Davidson, Flint, and they're going to throw and bomb your house. So pitiful. But that's where we are.
That's sad.
It's disheartening. It's more than sad, it's disheartening because, like, you can do these things, and I say how I say what I say. I feel how I feel. I'm a stand on everything I said, right? Anytime, whether I have any backing by anybody or not, I am me. But everybody isn't that strong. I get it. But with that being said, that's all the more reason for us to be backing each other and be in support of each other. That's all the more reason for that. And so I don't understand why we don't have that, why we can't do that. Because if I know you're not as strong as me I'm left-handed, you're right-handed. If we stand like this, we strong as shit.
Strong.
Right?
That's right.
Because I'm real life left-handed.
Right.
So if you are right-handed,
that's right.
That's your strong arm, this my strong arm. If we standing together, who's gonna stop us?
Nobody.
That's all I'm saying. Why we can't do that?
Right. But again, the answer to the question of why we've been psychologically brainwashed to believe that we can't.
And let me do this, because I'm putting y'all brothers ain't off the hook on that either. Y'all not off the hook, because y'all don't support us either.
That's
y'all
right.
don't back us either.
That's right.
It's so disheartening, and y'all wonder why we be going so hard on you, because you don't do that either. You can get called out your name for absolutely no reason. Not saying anything about you negatively or anything. You can be called out your name. I can be all kind of everything because I speak my mind and you don't like it. You fucking butt hurt?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. But even more crazy is that nobody will call that person out. Nobody will say, hey, why you talking to her like that?
Right,
She ain't
right,
do nothing to you.
Right.
Y'all will let them talk to me like that. Won't say nothing.
Won't say nothing.
Won't say a word.
But say something about his car.
Child.
You get a fight.
I don't understand that. And you know, I just can't. When I know you know that happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that you allowed that to happen to me, I can't rock with you no more.
At all. You gotta call it.
I can't.
Can't.
I'm gonna be totally honest with you. If that happens and I know you know it happened,
Come on.
I cannot rock with you anymore. I don't care what color you are.
That's right.
Because I know you ain't got my back. I know if something happened to me, I know if the police had their knee on my neck, you wouldn't push them off.
Nope, take a picture and smile next to it.
You might not even do that.
You might not do that.
I can't rock with you. I just can't do that. I'm just be totally honest. I cannot do that. So I'm telling you right now, I will go to bat in war for anybody I see. Any of my people that's being done wrong. But if you done me like that, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would piss on you if you was on fire.
That's right. And again, when you say that,
I'm serious.
I think that's the mentality, because again, when it goes back to, even when you think about in ancient Egypt and back to Kemetic times, back to, some things that we were doing in our ancient culture, and we were behaving in a way that was communal, and we had understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Because, when you have a conversation, you don't have confrontation.
Right.
And that's how we used to get down. But see, that European came in the 14th century, broke all that up, guys.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of times people don't want to talk about history. History is present. Because when we don't learn, as you just said, when we don't learn and respect and do better,
Mm-hmm.
people talk about reading the Bible and all this Bible stuff. So you've been reading the Bible for 40 years and you still stuck and waiting on white Jesus? And you ain't applied none of the teaching? You ain't going to forgive me? You're not going to love me? Again, and you profess to be on, so now I'm a Jew. I can claim to be a Jew now. I'm a black Jew. And again, just call it out. Because again, when you think about the fakeism and what's going on in our community, we have to hold each other accountable.
That's right.
The nation hasn't done it. Again, when you think about it, T.D. Jakes, Joel Osteen, Creflo Dollar, Eddie Long, the list go on and on and on. You want to talk about Eddie Two Gone. I'm sorry, Eddie Gone. But the bottom line that I'm saying, we look around in Flint. At one time,
preachers around here doing the same
man,
stuff.
at one time when you talked about Reverend Rob or Reverend Aldridge, man, that shook the ground. Reverend Floyd, tables started shaking. Not saying that they was perfect, but they had some balls. They made some things happen. All I'm saying is, and even when you think about how do we hold each other accountable, I'm calling for a worldwide blackout, because John Brown was white. Harper's Ferry. John Brown was white. Frederick Douglass told him, no, I don't think I'm going to go down with you, John. You have that on your own, brother.
Right.
But John was serious.
Yeah.
John was serious.
Yeah.
He was white.
Yeah, we would.
Come on now. We, as black people, like the sister just said, it is pathetic what you black men and women are doing. It is a shame. And as Brother Mickey was saying earlier about what would the ancestors say?
That was a great question.
Great question. The ancestors would turn their back. The ancestors, when you step to them, they would turn their back.
Don't kill them again.
Or kill you
That's
again.
what I said.
Yeah, they had to.
That's what
a
I
whole
said.
nother
You have to
thing.
go.
That's exactly what I
'Cause
said.
that's the point I was gonna get, because this is why I want to go back. When you glad you brought up the Bible, because if you ain't really pay, this how you know they some clowns. They got the description, the color of Jesus, right, in the Bible, but yet you still. I'm talking about these black Christians.
Yeah.
I ain't even getting to the whites.
Right.
They still got the white Jesus up there.
Right.
But then in the Bible, when Moses took them, they killed off the elders, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They took the youth in, basically 19 and under.
Yeah.
Come on.
So that's the question I was trying to ask, is because them was so-called elders on that board at Westwood.
Yes, sir.
but you still elected. These the elders.
Yes, sir.
How you gonna get them to change from Pharaoh ways? They still looking at this as white as this is Pharaoh. I mean, I understood the answer. That's why I looked at when Kate got suspended. Why, as you say, it was an uproar. You got whites and blacks defending her. But then when Eric gets suspended, it's all right for us to get took out. And then she did not get suspended where she couldn't vote.
Come on.
Eric got suspended where he couldn't vote.
Couldn't even vote.
Right.
No power.
And black folks laughed, thought it was funny, making memes, all kinds of stuff.
That's why I was mad at the city council,
Yeah.
still the ones when they voted to do that.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
because the thing why I was mad at them now, you see the backlash you get for doing this to a white woman business. I'm just saying when blacks get like they say we catch, we catch them in a flu. But when that white woman got suspended, they talk about businesses wasn't coming to Flint.
Right.
They not seeing that the dynamic is to divide the city. It's really the white power who they still trying to control power. Like you said, the Mount Foundation. Ain't no other philanthropists out in the world that Flint can do business with.
Most definitely could.
Mott is the only game.
Most definitely could.
No, we need to stop thinking about the one being a one pony town.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
don't have to just always go to the mosque. You ain't got to deal with Ridgeway over every time
Yeah.
you bring some business in the city or looking like Ridgeway White or the Mott Foundation to be a savior.
They don't even got the bag.
Organizations or people in the city. We ain't got you got to start diversifying your flow.
But
you
that's
got to be able to look outside. We got Kellogg. We got the
But it goes back to what I'm saying, that them elders, that leadership, they don't know no other game in town. It's just the Mott Foundation is the only game in town because regardless of what we say, when this generation, these elders go off, the next one's going to come up under them, still going to be dealing with Mott.
The My Foundation put them in those positions. They back and they go through other people to put the money in different people's candidacies.
Right.
That's how
And we got one that's running right
That's
now
how
that's
they-
working
that's
for
how
the
they
My
do it.
Foundation. And y'all put her in there. Woo hell.
Yep, that's how they do it.
Y'all get
Oh, we
ready.
got one
Chamber
working for the
of
Mott
Commerce?
Foundation
Yeah.
Yeah.
on the council.
That's
That's
running.
right.
Lord.
Yeah, so definitely be on the lookout. But what I do want to give
Is it somebody we know? I ain't gonna. We ain't got to call them out or nothing.
Yes.
Call them out.
You call them out.
I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna keep it respectful. I'm just saying. But damn. But goes back again to the leadership once again. We putting these people. But you know, our people get put low to sleep from barbecues, all these picnics, all these get-togethers.
See,
And
I was just getting ready to say that.
Pick a nigga,
See,
not
and that's
you don't
what
say
happened.
pick
a nigga.
All
Yeah.
of these. So what happened was you put the bows on it, the bells and the whistles
Come
and
on.
the fireworks, and you put all this pretty little stuff on it just to say, pick me, pick me, pick me. And we like lights, right? We like little ferrets. We like everything shiny, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
anything shiny, we gonna go right to it, right? And so it's shining right now. But as soon as you open that door, Freddie, Jason, and everybody else back there.
Right.
For real. So now we looking at all these pretty lights. Ooh, look at the lights. Ooh, that's so pretty. Ooh, you doing that? Ooh, every weekend. Oh my goodness, I get to do that. And then what? So then you get that person and you put that person in that spot. And this is what they doing because they working for the master, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do this, sir. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, sir. I'm gonna get them all. I'm gonna get them all in. The Pied Piper.
Robert
Piper.
Robert R. Kelly.
But you like the Pied Piper, so you singing these songs and you doing all this stuff, and everybody look, follow me, and you doing all this because it's all pretty and it's all glamorous and it's fun. But ain't nobody thinking about the bullshit that's going on right now, right? So you worried about all the parties? I don't give a damn about a party.
So that to
just saying.
take that point, but somebody who is taking the stands, and I do want to give a big shout out to, is International Academy's interim director, Kendra Giles. She has definitely been
Shout out
standing
to
up
Miss
for
Kendra Giles.
International Academy students, because I'm not sure we all understood and knew the last Friday, Genesee versus International Academy, Flint, there was a big brawl that took place, right? Where you have 5 students from International Academy ejected from the game, but none from Genesee side. And Genesee side showed, when you looked at the video, that some of the ex-players and people that was moving the chains ran off on the field too, so they should have been ejected as well. So what we had was, we had a story come out against our students, which is International Academy, a black school, said that we didn't show good sportsmanship, and they didn't like how we displayed our attitude out there and behavior. But when you look at the video, you look at what was going on, those students, teachers, and everybody out there was getting social injustice by dealing with some racist folks and individuals out in Genesee. So you got to understand that, man, when you talk bad about our people, when you talk or say anything derogatory towards our youth, towards our children, we gonna come out there and tear that bitch up. And that's how it's about. That's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
So you lucky the whole field. You lucky we ain't coming out there right now in Genesee and just going up to everybody up in everybody's school, getting everybody information, and really being on a different type of team. But that's what you expect. That's what you're gonna get. And I really want to just give her a big shout out because she had made a statement talking about, hey, debunking everything that first statement talked about.
That's right.
As if we didn't, our students show good sportsmanlike conduct. When our students being called niggers on the field.
Hold on. By white people?
When our cheerleaders are being disrespected because they trying to root and cheer for our students. When you got parents out there that's being disrespected by white Caucasians out in Genesee who calling folks niggas.
And attack a player.
And attack a player, and a player had to leave on the stretcher. Listen, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Come on now.
And so that's the type of role that we supposed to play when we see this type of stuff. And like, we know it's an investigation going on, but we got our own internal investigation taking place. And we will be coming out to Genesee, and we will be dealing with the administrative staff, and we will be dealing with those parents, and we're gonna have some real discussion, even with those students. So if you wanna bulk up and say that type of stuff, you wanna be standing like that,
be prepared.
Then be prepared to everything that comes with that, right? Because we don't play that shit. And I'm just surprised that they would even put that fuck ass shit out there in the news as if our students just want to really be out there fighting and all that stuff. We too busy winning championships. We too busy winning. We too busy being scholars. We too busy being great. To sit up here and talk about some nonsense or y'all fucking corn horses out there calling names like they're supposed to mean anything. To my black students, that word don't mean nothing. Right? You stand strong. Stand strong. And we want to call each other niggas because if you think about it from the Ethiopia standpoint, that means king. So there's nothing wrong with being a king, right? You just interpret it and take it away that you need to, and really use that energy, all that fire, and you go ahead and blast they, however you need to do it when you out there. But I want to definitely commend the players, for always standing up and standing strong and fighting. I don't care if
the coaches,
if one of them grab one of our players, you dang right, you better go out there and handle business. That's just like if we stand around, see a police officer on one of our members, then we better run up on that police officer, take everything he got on him, strip him butt naked, and tie him up. Messing with us like that.
Absolutely.
That's the type of flow and the energy that we need. Don't be up there talking about all this and this. Don't be out there saying that stuff. Always come to the aid. Come to our baby's aid. That's what they need you to do. They don't need you to talk about how bad they are and not showing sportsmanlike or don't worry about what's being said. Nah, make sure you support them. Let's wrap our arms around them. Let's show them love. Let's see how we can better support them in this fight. Because not only we winning championships, but we winning in social justice too.
And generations. This is a generational fight.
And let's be clear that this is not new. This is not something that's just started happening and just been happening. Because this has been happening for a long time. And even my son is 22, and when he was playing, this was happening. I almost got into a fist fight with the athletic director at Atherton for this same thing. I literally, myself, I almost got into a fist fight with this man because this white man got to talking and he mumbling under his breath, and I happened to be sitting there and I heard it, and I turned around and I called him out. Listen, this ain't been happening. That was on a basketball court. I've also had this happen on the field. Our kids got into a fight on the field, and you think we ain't hop that fence and go over there? It's crazy as hell if you think I'm not about to go out there. I am, and I think we all need to have that energy, and that's the thing that we need to do. Because if we're not standing up and we're not supporting our kids, then who? We just gonna continue to let these people do these things to our baby. That's why I'm so disappointed you parents at Westwood Heights. Y'all still got your kids in there? Really? When this man said that, and you seen it. It's not hearsay. You saw that. But even if you couldn't take them out, you couldn't go up there and you can be in defense of this little girl or any of these other children or all of these children in there. And then I am disappointed in the faculty. Y'all some suckers too, because y'all know that happened and y'all black in there and y'all gonna continue to let it happen. Y'all should have walked y'all asses out.
and smiling
and
in
not
his
in
face.
support of that. What is wrong with y'all?
Smiling in his
That's
face.
the problem. We just accept anything for a paycheck. Come on now. Just like you got that one, I'm sure you could get another one.
Come on.
Right.
Y'all smiling in that man's
Goodness
face.
gracious.
That white man's face while he disrobing and looking at our babies
Terrible.
on the constant. He's a predator.
I'm a parent.
Like Robert Kelly.
But
That
they have
kills
to,
me.
but the thing
Let me
is,
just
they have to, he in
jump in
jail.
points real quick about the Genesee and International Academy.
Can you get the principal on?
Huh?
Can you bring her on?
Yeah, we should definitely reach out. We actually supposed to be going to the school and discuss with
Right.
her and the students. So,
Yeah.
but I do want to make sure that I do point these out. So I did say 5 International Academy students were ejected from the game. Right?
Mhm.
No one from Genesee side was ejected.
Not one.
Right? And also Genesee won because it was forfeit. for that.
Wow.
In the statement that was released on October 5th, International Academy of Flint Director Kendra Giles said the school reviewed a video of the incident, which revealed a member of the Genesee chain crew ran out onto the field and inserted himself into the altercation between International Academy Flint player and Genesee player. So that heightened, situation. If somebody come out, grab you, I'm in a moment right now, I'm on YouTube, right? That's just how you thinking. Like,
That's
it's warfare, right?
It's hostile.
So he escalated by grabbing International Academy Flint player.
Right.
Let's point that out. And that guy was on Genesee side,
Mm-hmm.
right? This also, the adult side worker pulled the jersey of an International Academy Flint athlete, which is totally unacceptable. So if any parent see any adult grab a student, then that's all hands. That's all hands on deck. So everybody in the crowd, audience, we all should have ran out there. And don't matter what the fees, fines, we ain't tripping about none of that. We about to go out there and defend our own, right? That's the take that we should have, especially with our babies, right? And then, but if an adult grabs our students, our babies, then we have to protect them.
That's right.
We lay down our life for that. And that's where we have to go ahead and be in unison, right? There's some codes, there's some black codes that we need to be under, right? If anything, if one of us feels threatened, then we all threatened.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And then we all fight, right?
That's
And
right.
you fight to the end of death, right? That's how warfare goes.
That's right.
So that's how we should take it when we in these games, when we at these board meetings,
That's
when
right.
we all out there in their sector, and we want to make sure that they feel the pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Giles said an initial investigation of the game tape, social media, and interviews shows that International Academy Flint student athletes and cheerleaders experienced social and racial injustice, right, by students, parents, fans, staff, and administration at Genesee. So Genesee, you are wrong, right, for even putting that information out as if our players started that. You are wrong.
Just the narrative.
You are wrong for trying to build and cast a narrative as if we're unsportsmanlike, right? You are wrong for allowing parents, fans, staff, administration, players to say anything degrading towards black people.
Absolutely.
Or just in general, why they're out there on that football field, or why they're at school, why they're just in general, right? You are wrong, wrong, wrong. And this is something that we take very serious. As Black Lives Matter, we do not play with that at all. So we are doing an internal investigation on this matter. We are working with International Academy of Flint. We will be addressing those incidents out there in Genesee. So we'll be having our findings and we'll be providing updates along the way. But I definitely want to make sure we put that out there on the floor. Definitely say in support of International Academy of Flint students. Man, we love y'all. We support y'all. We'll be out there to talk to you soon. And don't think nothing of this, because we have all experienced racial injustice at some point in time in our life as being black. Whether you know it or not, whether it's in your face or not, even those folks who are black, who act white, they are still faced with injustice and they don't even know it. They're just so blind that they don't even want to see it. But we know those things, we see these things, and we want you to learn from it. So when you out there, we don't want you just to be champions on the field, we want you to be champions in life.
That's right.
So you always go ahead and compete, because this is a game of life.
Yes, it is.
So this is something that we want you to get, and it's unfortunate that they had to learn in this point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And again, back to even following up on that, we definitely are gearing up to bring the protests out there to Westwood Heights. We're going to be working on our signs tomorrow. And so we are continuing that fight also, because that board, that faculty, staff, and those children need to know clearly where the situation stands, and it is unacceptable.
Unacceptable.
So it's got to continue to be in their faces that their behavior was unacceptable, policy or not.
Absolutely, I agree.
So what y'all saying we need to do something about pulling the kids out of Genesee County and bringing them back to Flint?
Oh yeah, most
But
definitely.
then we also, the school board and Flint Public Schools, we also need to make sure that we create an environment of learning. So when we pull our students out of all these other outer counties, when we bring them back to Flint District, we want to bring them back to something that's acceptable to their learning.
That's
and
right.
Increase the value. Right?
Wholeness.
So we have to go ahead and be looking at
Investment.
the building, right? The infrastructure of the building, because it's always about to look. If I feel like I'm going into a prison mindset,
Come on.
then I feel like I'm gotta be gelling in here, right?
Come on,
If I gotta go through metal detectors and
come
you
on.
know, folks got guns and blades in here. Listen, this is what it is, right? But we want to be able to go ahead and create an environment of learning, right? So a clean building with some informative textbooks. I think those are the basics. Right?
Basic.
But then also let's have a strong lunch program where we ain't just feeding them sugar snacks and junk, but we give them stuff to stimulate their mind.
Come on.
Right? Let's
A
have some-
strong component where the school is connected to the family and community.
Right.
Strong gymnasium, swim, fencing,
library,
library.
extra curriculum activities.
Come on.
We had welding, we had different stuff going
Wood
on.
shop,
Even if we didn't
home
want to
ec.
do
Yeah.
it, right? We learned how to do it, how to
Choir,
tie,
drama,
Choir.
glee,
Come
financial
on.
literacy programs.
Finance, yeah.
We need to be able to go ahead and
Mandatory.
set them
debate
up for life,
clubs.
right?
You got
Debate
$100
clubs.
million in the coffin, so it ain't no problem for you can build 2 schools right now.
So the thing is, so it's a 100 and 100. Right? Parents, we got to get them attract the students back to the school district.
Yes.
The school district, we got to have something attracting for the students, right?
Yeah.
And so we should be looking at what that looks like, because I think, gradually we can be able to kind of help stimulate, building up the school district here back in Flint. Because ultimately that's what we want. I don't want my son going to Grand Blanc and I got to
Right.
deal with that stuff out
You
there.
should be able to walk to school.
He should be able to walk to school. Like I was just saying, like, man, when we was on the block, we
Walk to school.
would walk to school. It'd be 10 of us on the same block.
Come
on.
That's kind of school.
Yep.
I walk out the house, I see my homeboys on the
Come
street.
on.
That's
We
exactly
all walk
what
to
we
school
do.
together. Ain't
Right.
nobody picking us up. Ain't nobody coming to mess
Come
with
on.
us because we deep out here, right? And
Right.
we will scratch you to death, right? You know what I'm saying?
We used to be like 30 deep going home.
Yeah.
Seriously, we was like 30 of us going home.
But it's
all the time.
exercise too.
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful time, though.
Beautiful.
We didn't want nobody to come pick us up.
No, it was the village. It was all about walking
Yeah.
home.
Walking home.
And we were safe in our neighborhood.
Right.
And then we could stop at everybody's house along the way and
Come
get a
on.
snack or two. Right. That's that village concept that we need to rebuild.
We gotta bring
Man,
it
my
up.
friend Omika, her granny made the best Kool-Aid too. I ain't gonna lie. So we
Yeah,
stopped it.
yeah,
We
yeah.
had to drink our
Look
Kool-Aid.
up, yeah. Don't touch my screen, though.
Yeah,
Where to go back? Where to go back, brother?
Can I have some Kool-Aid?
Where to go back to? I like how you think. We got to get rid of some of them damn elders who thinking wrong.
Oh yeah.
Because them is the problem. They in the way.
That's a strategy too.
That's a
They,
strategy.
they in the way because
They in the
we wouldn't keep having these problems with the Westwood, with Cape Field,
No.
with the school system.
No.
Because what people
Right.
keep forgetting, the school system is set up where whoever come in is still going to be the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So until you can clear that up and
Come on.
you can get the My Foundation hands from gripping on everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you can get some new players, some new money, people
Yeah.
that can come in where you can gotta keep hearing where, because everybody they should let Ma take over the school. Ma created this situation. When,
Come on.
when they let them
Man.
charter schools
Come
come
on,
in,
brother.
it took from the public school.
That was by
But
design.
but ain't nobody gonna say that
That was
part.
by design.
They
You gotta
letting
understand, Mr. Mott's idea wasn't to enhance learning for all, right? He was a racist to himself.
That's right.
This
That's
whole
right.
thing was being separate.
Come on.
So you got to understand the origins, even the community.
No, I get it, but I just be baffled when I hear these blacks saying they don't. But we so confused that we go right back to because what you said, you got to get this job over here. This who paying me, so they paying me, so I can say this. I'm my family out in Grand Blanc, and you still at the end of the day, you still a nigga.
Right.
At the end of the day,
And that's exactly
you still
how
a
they see
nigga. You just a
are.
nigga with a job that they can take away from you.
That can afford to live out
Yeah,
here.
'cause the same person that can give you that job-
$1,700 a month.
Yeah.
can take the job away from you.
Yeah.
As soon as you act a little black.
Right. And then all of them love Flint.
As soon as you barbecue in the front yard, that shit over.
All you gotta do,
Take your ass back to the north side.
and this will show you but this will show you what's even crazy. Look at look at Eva Worthing. Do Eva Worthing kids go to Flint schools?
Either Worthing's kids don't go. Do she got
But she live in Flint. She live in Flint, and her kids don't go to Flint schools.
Eva adopted them kids. They ain't trying to get them out of here. Don't let her fool you.
I'm just saying. I'm just looking at it.
CBS on her radio.
I'm just telling you, though. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying because I'm looking up. No, because I'm looking at all these people that get in these positions in Flint, and then they just do what they do. I mean, it's just the situation. But I get it. It's on both sides. You got both sides gonna fight for their person.
Yeah.
No matter that the city messed up, but they man in power. They got to ride it out.
I just want to say this: don't lose our talent because listen, man, our people, them young people, they watching this stuff. They watching you old raccoons move the way y'all move, right? Y'all taking all the food, right? Y'all just being scavengers about this.
Yeah.
So the young folks gonna be looking at this like, man, it's like half of them gonna be looking like, man, do I need to really get involved with that? Right? It ain't nothing out there y'all fighting for anyway, right? You know what I'm saying? Nothing but a bunch of peanuts and everybody already got claims, right? Or they gonna leave. Right? And we don't want to leave. We don't want our talent to leave. We already had a conversation last week about how the prep schools come in and take our students. Everybody is just taking the talent out of the city. Right, whether by design or whether because it's forced. Like we have a problem. Well, we have a problem with keeping folks here, and I see it's because it's the folks in place now. And I know you got these baby boomers that still in position, right? You know, sooner or later you should be looking at transition and it's over. What young person are you really building up or helping support or looking to pass this information off of? Right. Because most knowledge is in the graveyard. And this is the things for us, we should be progressive. So all the elders, if you older, let's start making a way to move out of those positions. Yeah.
Who you trust?
Be in a counselor position. Huh?
Who you trust of these elders? I'm just saying, I'm just
saying just in general, elders I'm just saying folks gotta get out the way.
Yeah, you gotta kill them.
So make way for the other people to step up. That's out here that you ain't giving no opportunities for, that you ain't sharing the information with, that the resources is skimped in the area. Make sure that they are in position so then that way they can make a difference. It's always those folks on the ground that's really doing the work that's in the grassroots levels, that's always out there and committed, but ain't getting no flow, ain't getting no support, ain't getting no resources, always looked over, and ain't nobody, and that stuff is tiring. And what do? They get so fed up, and they be like, hell, what's the point? What am I doing out here? I've made myself available, and you don't even want to invest in any young people. You don't even want to invest in people. You rather go with the same old saying than versus saying like, all right, listen, let's bet on the future.
And because and when you mention that about the elders, since we don't know our history, because it was designed that the elders mentored the youth. Right. See, that was a part of our African culture.
Right.
But when you have elders that have sold out, see, that's what we're dealing with today. We're dealing with our elders that have sold out their souls because now they are Sambos. And they are committed to their Samboism. And they're going to be willing to die for their Samboism. And they don't care about the youth. Because like you said earlier, the question you asked, are they willing to die? Yes, they are willing to die with the knowledge and the position that they have and not pass it on. Not train nobody else. Because the elders' responsibility is to teach the youth. The youth got the energy. The youth got the power. But the elders got the wisdom.
That's right.
When you lock that in together and you cook that gumbo up, do you know what that gumbo smell and tastes like? It's a beautiful thing, man. It's amazing, man. It brings tears to your eyes. Fire! It's fire!
Man.
Right.
So it's by design. And again, when we then get so twisted about capitalism and exploitation, and we have all these forces against us, we own nothing in our community. At one time, we owned St. John. I'm from Chicago, but at one time on St. John, everywhere I went, black person owned it, brother. Every store, from the cleaners, my teacher, to the record store, to the cab company, the butcher store, skating rink, the pharmacy, to the beer and wine, to the hut, to the bar, to the beauty shop, to the hair shop. Everything was owned by people that looked like me.
That's right.
A beautiful thing.
Like that.
A beautiful
See how
thing.
empowering that was? To watch
Yeah.
and see all that stuff owned
Come
by
on
black
now.
people.
Come on.
You didn't even know. Like my people, when you grow up in the South, when we was all connected and together, all you seen was your people, and they was everything, right?
Everything.
So it's a sense of empowerment because I see my people as the carpenters, the local plumbers,
Come on.
local businessmen, like local, just in general, land tillers, right? You got all these different positions that was, occupied and even facilitated by black people. So it's a sense that, yeah, I see my people in these positions. That's why we get to the point now, I'm afraid for our future because they be in different environments. They don't see black people like that. Like my son, he see all these white folks, he come back and start talking and stuff. I had to check him.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, nah, hold on. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know you out there learning,
Come on.
but you know what I mean. Let me help guide this process
That's
of
right.
learning, and
Yeah.
establish this understanding. Bro, you are a young black man,
Come on now.
a young black boy. It's training to be a black man.
Come on.
So you need to learn this history, understand
Come
what
on.
we came through, right?
That's right.
And I need you to understand this game so you know how to use it on them while you moving forward.
Come
That's what you out there for.
That's
You
what
learn
you're out
the
there
game.
for, right?
Yeah, out there, I could care less about bringing in all them A's and B's about that. Sometimes, listen, it ain't about that. I need you to understand this mathematics, you how to write,
Come on.
read, right?
Come on.
History we'll talk about, and social studies, understand how they try to play a part and how they try to engineer this piece, right?
Come on, brother.
So it's some things that you need to make sure that they learning while
That's
they're out
right.
there in them environments, and don't let them get caught up in that lifestyle.
Come on.
That's what you get to forgetting. They get to forgetting who they was.
That's
Because
right.
that's the key. When you think
That's
about,
right.
I love what you just said. You got to
Me
learn
too.
the game.
That's right.
And once you learn the game, you can perfect the game.
Right.
So it is about being in those spaces so you can learn the game.
Right.
Because, to be honest with you, the game was stolen from us. The game was stolen from us as a people 5,000 years ago, and it's been corrupted. Because the game never started out as capitalism and exploitation. The game started out communal. We all in this together.
That's right.
We sharing the fish. And we
That's it.
bartering.
Bartering.
It's a bartering.
The
It
handball.
ain't saying,
Yeah.
I gotta, we walking around and we ain't even looking at gold or diamond. We walk over that. Now, that's cool. It's cool, it's shiny, but we ain't tripping.
Right.
Our thing was cowrie shells.
Yeah.
We value cowrie shells.
Mm-hmm.
Not all this other diamond and gold.
That's
So
right.
it go to show you, man, understanding, and that's what we gotta teach ourselves and our young people. Perfect the game. In any game, you gotta know how to play that game. What the rules of the game.
That's right.
Because you know what the players are, the rules are. Because a lot of times, whoever got the power of the game gonna try to manipulate the game in their favor. So once you know the game, you know how to traverse.
That's right.
You know how to play.
Come on.
And that's actually
Critical.
so. Hopefully, all our students that's out there in those situations, going to prep school and out there at the private schools, or just in general, all those areas where you feel like it's not a lot of us, or it's a small percentage. Make sure you stand strong. That's what we did out there in Clio. We had to get them. It's only a small percentage of black folks out there in Clio going to that school. But we got to make sure that small percentage, where it's a 0.3 percentage, are sticking close together and protecting each other.
Right.
That's
And
right.
I understand that this ain't for them to just get engaged with that out there. We need them to be solidified in who they are, loving themselves, right, and being bold about it. That's the difference. I'm guarantee you, everybody in that school gonna love y'all and
That's
respect
right,
y'all,
right.
appreciate y'all for what y'all bringing. Now when you acting all white and acting all like you gotta be like down with them. I went to Davidson. My mama tried to pull that mess with us. Like, you know what I mean? Thought we was going to a better school out in Davidson. I went there. I went to Scott School up into the 5th grade, 1st through 5th. And I went to Davidson in my 6th grade. And I told her, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be out here because, you know what I'm saying? I know this ain't going to be good, right? And I told her this before we went out there. And so what happened when I went up there, and, I had to get into fights every day is because, I'm dealing with these type of stuff.
Yeah.
And there's only a few black people. I remember it was me, D, and Samante. There was just a few black people out there, but me and Bud cool to this day. But it was just us, and we had to just be strong together. It was like only 5 of us, but we were strong together. And so we had to go ahead and whoop out on the white boys that really tried to talk bad about us and thought that, they can, undermine us. Whatever the case may be, they know that they they learned something new that day, and that was what we had to be. And so the very next year, man, you know, she brought me right back to Flint, and just that's exactly where I needed to be. I needed to be around this, and I understand the aspect of getting a better education, right? We all want that for our children. We all want that for each
why
other.
the education
But we had to
can be
create
better
a
where
better.
it is?
We had to create a better education
Where you
where
are.
we live, where
There
we
you
are.
go.
So put more emphasis and investments in your
Man,
local
yes.
neighborhood, your local community
There
centers.
you go.
Even in our neighborhoods, we should have knowledge houses. Where
Knowledge
folks-
houses.
We got tutors and people to
Knowledge
come in
houses.
to help with homework. But this is how we grow our own. We don't have to go ahead and go through this system that they provide.
Instead of
Let's
worrying about a
create our
tractor
own.
being stolen
Let's
into
create our
church.
own
Man.
system and create our own educational value.
But here's the thing for me though, white is just because it's white doesn't make it better.
Come on.
That's the thing.
But
Why-
that's back to
why is
culture
that-
condition.
That's right.
That's
It
the
doesn't just
culture.
because it's white doesn't mean it is
That's the
better.
culture.
And here's the thing, because I just like you, that happened to me. Right, so I had gone to Catholic school like my whole life. However, I was we was at the Catholic school. We was basically all black people at the Catholic school where I was at, right? But when I got into junior high school, my mother decided she was gonna send me to Carmen. Oh my God! I was like, please don't do that. I didn't want to do that. I had never gone to school with white people before. I had not been around like a few of them, but. Shit, my friend Teresa lived on Damon. Hell, she was out there with us. If you talked to her on the phone, you wouldn't even know she was white.
Mm-hmm.
Neither her mama, you know what I'm saying? Because they lived out there their whole life, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Teresa Klebs, I'll never forget her. Shout out to her, that's my girl still. But she lived on Damon, right? She lived right there by us. I was on Murder. When I don't wait lived on Murder, I used to jump the fence and go over to her house all the time, right? I go to Carmen. And it was like the biggest culture shock ever in my life, and I hated it. Like I really hated it. I hated it because it was just big and it was messy and it was all clicked up with these white people that they were well off. You know, they lived in Western Hills and all that other stuff or whatever. You know, you potentially make so-called friends or whatever. But I got into a fight on a bus with a black boy, right? Because he was sold out. His name was Rashawn. I'll never forget you, nigga. And I know they still calling you that. I got into a fight with him because he decided he was talking to this white girl. You know, he's sitting there with his arm around white girl, whatever. And he called me an ugly black bitch.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, who you talking to?
Lord have mercy.
And he did. And I got up and I ugly black bitch whooped his ass. I jumped over that seat and I got kicked off the bus for the whole year. Mom got tired of sending me out and taking me all the way out there on Baby Road, and she sent my ass back out there. Said, thank you. I got kicked off the bus. I was mad. I couldn't believe that. And let me tell you, that sucker was black as an ace of spades.
Yeah.
Oh, raggedy
Damn,
sucker.
sellout.
Sellout, exactly. Yeah.
So before we round up, we got a few things that we want to go ahead and do. There was a road commission protest earlier this week. I want to say at Tuesday?
Yesterday.
Or Wednesday, I'm sorry, Wednesday.
Yesterday.
And so,
Okay.
Brother Roberts was on hand for that. So
And it was
how did
full.
that play out?
Oh, it was packed. It was packed.
That's great.
It was standing room only. They gave it to. I spoke, but a lot of those people addressed the situation about the disparity in the pay raises without evaluations. And the attorney for Donna Poplar was out there, and she spoke. And so they pretty much told them that the one guy, the director of the Genesee County Road Commission, has to go because he has been performing in a sexist and bigot and prejudiced way. He's got to go. No more conversations with him. He's got to go.
Vanny?
Yes, and then they also addressed the board that no confidence. They will be voting them out if they don't handle the situation.
All right.
So again, jam packed.
So as you heard, there was some accusations on behalf of the managing director, Fred Cabani. He asked for a list of employees by race that's going to help guide the discipline steps. And these are the type of people that, why would you ask for a list of employees by race, right? You can only be up to no good when you go about that route. So what we won't take is like folks like Anthony Branch, who has been over there at the Road Commission doing the work, has over 30 years of experience, doing what he's doing, wasn't even up for interview for the position.
Right.
you go all out the way to hire somebody else, and you got the experience right there in the room. See, those are the type of practice. Just because Anthony is black, right? Anthony is black, but Anthony's been there. And Anthony's been, you know, like I said, he's been there for 30 years. So at least he should have got an interview.
At least.
Right, for the position. So we want to definitely support Road Commissioner Cloyce Dickerson. He's a brother on there that's really calling those things out. We want to even the level the playing field. And we just appreciate everybody going out there, standing up,
That's right.
putting it down. Our next steps will be going to the Genesee County Commissioners because they are the folks who appoint road commissioners.
That's right.
I understand the correlation between the two. So the Genesee County Commissioners appoint the road commissioners. And so we want to address the Genesee County Commissioners for their role in appointing Kathy Lane out of Grand Blanc and Tim Elkins out of Davidson.
Yeah.
We want to be able to
And
make
that's
sure
their
that
budget, because a lot of that was politic favoritism. They lost elections and they was able to get appointed into good paying jobs.
Yeah. So those are the things that we have to address because we want some of those jobs.
Right.
We want Anthony Branch in one of those positions.
Right.
We want to put some of our folks on in those positions.
And demand it. See, we got to start demanding.
That's right.
Stop asking.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because again, like they said at the thing yesterday, we pay y'all. We need to stop, again, back to worldwide boycott. This is where this boycott got to kick in, guys.
Right, right.
The only thing in this country, the Genesee County, the GISD, MOD, or anybody, they understand money. When you cut that money off,
Yeah.
That's right.
that's what's got to happen, guys. Because these white people, again, they'd rather blow it up than share it.
This is right.
And we're gonna force them to blow it up, but we're gonna rebuild, right?
There you go.
We're gonna build
That's the
up,
mindset.
Absolutely.
build up our war chest.
That's right.
Right. All right, and then also we do want to highlight Black Business today. Of course, we want to highlight the Golden Leaf. Let's make some noise for the Golden Leaf, right?
Right.
Black Business highlight. You know, been in business for
Ever.
over 100 years.
Over 100
Ever.
years.
And we have definitely enjoyed the service over the years from what the Golden Leaf has to offer. I remember my great granny was in there. So
They still playing. They still in their
she's
party.
still in there.
Parking
Right.
lot
Yeah.
party and
Yeah,
all
go pick
that.
up my granny at the wild. But definitely give some big shout out to Lottie Reed.
Yeah.
Let's give a big shout out to the staff.
That's right.
Let's give a big shout out to everybody who has patronized, supported, been a part of the Golden Leaf over these 100 years. So we thank y'all for serving the Flint, Genesee County community.
We
man.
need to go
Keep up
patronize.
the good work. Yeah, we go come down,
Let's go
have a
patronize.
drink
Have a
with you,
drink.
Yeah.
kick it with you,
Yeah.
spin, listen to some jazz.
Let's do it.
You got Gwen Hempfield, Miss Joanna, you got all the stars that come out of there. So I'll be looking forward to going down there and maybe we can kind of
Let's
set
do
up maybe do something special for
That'd
Miss
be
Lottie.
nice.
Maybe bring her in next time.
Yeah, that'd be nice to bring her in, man.
Or maybe go down there and do something.
Definitely go down there and
Go
do a
down and do
live
it
shot.
live.
Yeah, let's go
Live
down
show
there
down
and do
there at the
that.
jazz spot, right?
That'd be nice.
But definitely keep up the great work and continue to keep supporting the Golden Leaf. Like I always see all the OGs, all the elders out there looking good,
Man.
right? Having a good time, right?
I went
Good-
down
good,
there.
clean
I went
fun.
down there one summer night on a Wednesday night.
Mhm.
Man, you talking about it was outside. Everybody was outside.
Come on,
you
yeah.
know.
Come on,
And I
now.
mean, it must have been about 1,000 people out there.
Oh,
Everybody
come
getting along.
Everybody can
I mean, it was just beautiful, man. Had the band in the back, man.
Yeah, they do.
People dance. We got to get to do a little ballroom dancing, some Chicago stepping on the dirt.
Right,
Back in the back in the
There you
dancing.
go.
And y'all had
Maybe that's what we
Kick
need
it
to
to
do.
feet.
y'all had y'all little switchblades.
Maybe we can have a step set.
Yeah.
Oh, come
You're
on.
kicking the feet.
Yeah, hit the feet.
Look at the white shoes.
Oh, come on. Oh, do you put the Tic Tacs on to go out there?
They do be out there deep, man.
Yeah.
Every time I ride by, it's a house full.
Don't y'all got a meeting in a second?
Yeah, so
Oh.
we're gonna shut it down. Appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to roll it down. But definitely, we appreciate the segment today. I think we touched on some phenomenal topics. We was talking to our people. And we always remember we say it out of love. Like so, even all you black folks don't even know you black. Like we love you, right? And the reason because we love you is the reason why we put this out here like that. And don't take it to heart. Just get back. Just find yourself back and come back home, brother. Come back home, sister.
So y'all, peace and hair grease.
Okay, love you guys. We'll come down.
Stay out.
Like I
I think y'all.